Should be.
Yeah.
It's recording. You could check it. 2 eyes, 2 sets of eyes are better than one.
Yep. Oh. Welcome to Chicago.
Hopefully you can see enough of the skyline. My big old head ain't seeing it, but look at that. Tell me that ain't the second best skyline in America to its only other competition.
Well, our city has 2 skylines.
Yeah.
Raleigh, North Carolina, and Chicago, Illinois.
God damn right. I was testing it. You nailed it.
The BB&T building?
The BB&T, which has changed. I don't know. It's called, there's another bank that has taken it over, and it's got an uglier sign, which that's my, town's changed for me, is that they're switching. Your local regional bank fails and another shitty one takes it over, and you're like, damn, the passage of time
is unstoppable. Not unlike the financial giants that inhabit these buildings. Last time Mark was on the podcast, we also did some North Carolina talk.
Yeah, it gets real. It gets real North Carolina.
What's the BB&T?
Oh, you're gonna feed into it? Well, let me tell you. I went to elementary school there at Washington Elementary School, and you could see the downtown skyline. So I would look over at the BB&T building. It's like, one day when I figure out what all these damn greater than or less than signs mean, I'm gonna be at the top tower at the BB&T building. And they fucking ripped the rug right from under me by changing the name of the building. Where'd you go to? You went to like Cary. I went
to A.V. Bockham Elementary. Steve Elementary.
A.V. Bockham.
Steve told me when he got in the car, his neighbor says he looks like he's dressed up for the first day of school. Which is a great neighborly burn on the way out the door. It's a friendly neighborhood.
Yeah.
I didn't say shit about his weak-ass battery trimmer, dude.
Steve could dunk on any neighbor when it comes to
pull out the gas implements.
They think they're going for some light ribbing, and they don't know that you're absolutely comes strapped with a bunch of stock.
I'll tell you what, we're here in Bug City. We're getting eaten alive.
Eaten alive out here.
And I, hopefully statute of limitations, have peed in the off-limits prairie over there, and I can feel them under the shirt.
Yeah.
There's no girlfriend at home to check me for ticks, so I'm going to be bending over backwards, spreading my butt in the mirror, not for fun this time.
Yeah. You Patreon listeners, the video recording that you're going to do to see like behind you if there's any marks there, you might have to throw that up behind the paywall.
Live streaming, comment. Comment if you see a tick. I'm lifting up my nuts.
Take a look at Eric's ring and see if it has a ring around it. Isn't that Lyme disease?
Lyme disease, yeah.
Yeah, if you get a ring around your asshole.
I can already feel a little nibble on the back. I got a lump.
It's a bad year for ticks, boys.
Is it?
I don't know. They always say that. It's like sharks.
I remember I thought...
Midwestern sharks?
Yeah.
Is it tick?
Sharks of the Midwest.
I thought I had Lyme disease one time growing up. Like I told my mom, kind of like moms were the original WebMD panic. Where like I just kind of told her my symptoms. She's like, have you been out in the woods? And I was like, I was in my backyard. And she was like, literally treated it like it was terminal. Like I should have stopped you. And she's like, that could be Lyme disease. And she was like, Mark, she almost like hugged me. She's like, Mark, we're going to learn to live with this. Many people have big, fruitful lives. We're going to have to get you in a bubble and you're going to get a medicine. Turns out I was just a little sleepy boy because I was doing nothing, eating nothing but Gushers to be my fuel.
All right, Mark, you're going to need to fuel up. So go ahead and pound 2 empty bowls of Frosted Flakes and get to bed.
Balanced breakfast.
Oh, my God, Mark, you look ill. Have you not had your sugar smacks?
Mark, I know you made a big mistake. And speaking of mistakes, here's an oops all berries Captain Crunch.
Even the captain makes mistakes. We also did cereal talk last time you were on the podcast.
We did cereal talk. We have a lot of motifs that we like to circle back around.
I got some Cinnamon Toast Crunch at home waiting to just get devoured. A bag of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, boys, by the way.
My girlfriend went out of town leaving a box of cocoa peanut butter cereal.
So I'm up to no good, baby.
She left only almond milk. So the cereals remained untouched. That was a perfectly planned defense on her part.
She might as well have left a note that said gotcha
in
the fridge.
That's full defense on the cereal.
Yeah. I've thought about going and investing in a 2-gallon of 2% just to show her that I will eat the cereal.
Yeah.
She keeps telling me that we got to download an app so we can split grocery finances, and it hasn't happened yet.
Download an app to split. Isn't she in San Francisco for work? Okay.
Yeah. And let me tell you, she's coming back to a few less fruit leathers than she left behind.
It's called being the breadwinner, not the bread splitter, okay? Let's
How is she going to afford to keep me in such finery?
She's fueling the pod. I was going to get back to this when we were talking about elementary schools. Did you guys ever have like a teacher that, looking back with adult hindsight, you're like, that was a very mentally unstable person that was like shepherding kids?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. I had it at Carrie Christian.
Oh yeah. Ooh,
Miss Talbot, I think, was just going through it. Her daughter was in my class, and I don't know if she was at Tatlow. I can't remember.
Dude,
I probably shouldn't be
coming for
doxing
you,
her on the pod.
dropping her on the pod. Yeah.
Well, I'm just doing last names. I don't know.
I'm just doing
she was from
full
South
socials.
Africa, I think. And I remember one day it was a Carrie Christian. I went to a private Christian school for 1 year because we got transferred to a school district that my mom didn't want us to go to. And
Hare Krishna?
No, a private Christian school.
Oh.
Yeah.
And she said, like, you have to, I think she said something about hell. And she goes, like, okay, well, everyone can just leave here and just tell them that your teacher cursed. Tell them that he said hell. Tell them I said a curse word at school.
She spazzed.
She spazzed.
You know, no one would have even noticed that or marked on it had she not had
No.
an absolute full fuck it, we'll do it live freaked out.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think, it might have been that she was losing control of the class anyway.
Yeah.
And then she put a pin in it or put a nail in the coffin and freaked out. I don't remember the context. All I remember is that was the first year we got lockers, and I was unprepared, and I used it essentially like a trash can. And then she saw inside my locker like 6 months into the year, and then in front of the entire class, she emptied out my locker and was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Sometimes my mom's likes to save
so many
the plastic
Pringles
bags."
singles things in there probably.
I was like, "I want to recycle some of them, but we don't have recycling here." And she's like, "That's in like." No, what is this? I'm like, sometimes my mom washes plastic spoons, and she's like, well, we're throwing these away. And I was just like tearfully like, my mom's going to want me to bring them back. This is crazy.
And then, see, this is before we knew what climate change did.
Yeah.
She's kind of a monster in hindsight.
Yeah,
yeah.
Those
Mom was
spoons
ahead of
are
the
really
curve.
Meanwhile,
sticking out of
a
a turtle.
drought in North Carolina had us not flushing the toilet if we only went number one.
Really?
Where's that? Psh, not my side of North Carolina.
Not
I
on
know
your
you
side
were
of
out
town?
there listening to the big dims down in the Capitol building. I wasn't doing nothing with that. We had an art teacher who I didn't know what hangovers were, so I just thought she was really sick. She was always really sick on Mondays.
Yeah.
And so she would come in, and she was like a young, like probably now I look back, like 22, like tattoos all on her arm, like short pixie cut.
Yeah.
And she would be there, and you would come into the class, and she would just be draped over the easel, doing these like breaths. And she's like, kids, just draw today. Just free, just whatever you. And you'd be like, what do you want us to draw, Mrs. Mack? And she would just, like, her whole body would freeze up. She'd just like, draw anything, draw yourself getting me a Gatorade. And what she would do is she would go over to, they had dry ice for some reason. They had a fridge full of dry ice.
Yeah.
For like art. And so she would just open the fridge and just stand over it and just.
That's wild.
Teachers go hard in the paint, dude.
I think I had a 4th grade teacher who was going through a divorce, and I think I came into the classroom and she was like crying one time.
Ooh.
Or something like that.
That's
and
big seeing a teacher cry.
Also, she would have us watch NCIS. She was a science teacher.
Yeah.
And she got in trouble because there was semen in one episode.
Oh, yikes.
And then she got a talking to.
Yeah, there were teachers that
it's
you
not
could.
the show that's a problem, ma'am. It's that there was jism depicted.
There was semen.
Tell me why you think it's a good idea to let 4th graders
Tell
see
me why I
Ice
shouldn't
Cube use a
come
black
right on
light.
your face right now.
The only way you're going to keep this job is if we reenact the scene.
You have to show us exactly what happened so we know for the audit.
Dude, I got busted for I wrote Mike Hunt in a bunch of yearbooks when I was in 8th grade.
And they busted you? Handwriting analysis?
Like all the younger
How do they
kids.
know it was you? They must have thought it was Mike Hunt.
Because I was going
that's
around.
NCIS.
I was going around signing everyone's yearbook, Mike Hunt,
Hilarious.
That's great.
and I think my mom was corralled into the principal's office.
Oh, that
yeah.
stinks.
Lady principal at that time.
Yeah, I had a lady principal, 2 lady principals. One of them died of cancer recently. R.I.P.
Aw.
I know they get Wi-Fi in heaven, Miss Page or what. Dude, one of my I forgot about this. So one of my teachers, she wasn't my teacher, but she was like the front lady person at Washington Elementary. Like she was like check you in, and every time you needed to go get like a like a glove filled with ice, she would be
Yeah.
there.
Lady's
So-
making $18,000 a year.
Just putting up with me every time I had a bellyache. And so I remember one time my mom picked me up in the little car circle around, until I forget what her name was. But her name, like Mrs. Kathy, she got killed over the weekend because she was living at her sister's house, and then her ex-husband snuck in through the second-story window and stabbed her to death.
Holy
No
shit.
way.
The thing is that my mom didn't tell me that story in any less detail than I gave to you. But it's just like,
Holy moly.
And then got that's a good one right there. Oh, that picked up. But through the second-story window, presumably like Indian with a knife in his mouth. Just
Dude,
Yeah.
that's terrifying.
That's a coffee house crime episode.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I mean, how much is it just like your life's every day kids are coming in there just being like, I think I broke my pinky. And then, like, this can't, finally, I'm going to get a 3-day weekend away from my fucking husband.
So was she with another guy, or was she
No,
solo?
she was just staying, like, they were going through a divorce, and she was just staying with her sister.
Good God.
And, he figured it was the time to sneak on in there.
And they busted him?
They got him. They didn't get him in time. I mean, ultimately, they did get him.
They so rarely get people in time.
And they found a lady that did the front desk that looked exactly the same. There's really a bench of those kind of just ladies.
Her sister just took her place.
It was like Leonard Skinner. They just found like a younger version just to come in and do it.
Damn, tragic. Through the upper window too. That's a wildly.
Yeah, that detail of it being through the upper window, I remember always sticking with me. Because that's got to be, you know how you.
That's what you're scared of as a kid.
Exactly. You know how you always
get
hear a
in
bump
there?
and you're like, never. I mean, can you imagine when she just sees just the tap on the window and then open up? Because it's the opposite of like the holding the boombox.
Yeah.
Over the thing.
Reverse boombox.
It's the reverse boombox out the window. Is that someone coming in with the Cutco?
That's how boombox marriages end.
Yeah.
Is silently through the window instead of loud through the front.
You're just, Romeo, Romeo, why dost thou have a knife, O Romeo?
What art thou doing with that Cuisinart, Romeo?
What it's the...
R.I.P. though.
R.I.P. though. I was the only teacher we lost.
You have any major in-school tragedies or events?
9/11.
Yeah, that was a big one.
That was a lesson.
What grade were you guys in?
That taught all of us a real lesson.
What grade were you guys in?
I was in first grade. Our school was going under construction, so we were out into trailers. We were in trailers outside of like an elementary school.
I think I was in third grade in a trailer.
I was in fourth grade.
Miss Huff or something.
Miss Hufflepuff?
Something like that. Ariel's just short, curly hair. She had like Kenyon's old haircut.
Yikes.
At Kenyon Adam check.
At Kenyon Adam
funny
check.
Funny comedian. But yeah, and she was like a strict. And also, remember when you were young enough that you didn't go from class to class? You just got one teacher for the whole year.
They somehow knew all the subjects.
Yes, and those teachers was like, that was the highest stakes, because if you got a strict teacher, that was your only teacher for the whole year. So you'd be like, fuck, I got Miss Harrington. My buddy got Miss whatever, Twinkie Penis. It was a good time, and I got the one who wears lesbian pants up to her nips.
And she was the one that had to break the news. That,
she had to come in and be like, "You guys were very bad today, so they flew planes into the towers."
And it's all your fault.
Didn't hang up their SpongeBob lunchbox, and now they took our towers. I remember. This is a separate thing, but our high school was the elementary school I went to. It was originally an all-black high school.
Whew.
And so once they desegregated, they were like, this school is kind of only fit for children, but they would do, which is tragic, but they would do like 40-year like they would do like yearly anniversaries where occasionally you would just be like in class and then just all of a sudden just like 20 just like old like in pea coats dressed for like Sunday service black people would come in. Like, I remember this room. This is where we started a movement. And kids were just coloring on the walls and just destroying it. Like, it was genuinely like an important school. They had sit-in movements and stuff there, and we were just like windows were smashed because kids were trying to like attach a rock to a paper airplane and throw it through stuff. It's very fun. Washington Elementary School. Lock your windows.
Lock your windows.
Dude, we didn't have
That's
air
the name
conditioning.
of the episode.
You didn't have air conditioning?
We didn't have air conditioning in our grade, and it was hot as fuck.
That's nuts.
Yeah. St. Louis, humidity.
Damn.
Zero air. You stuck to the chairs, dude.
Yeah.
And we're in those old school desks remember the desks that you could like reach down on and your shit was under the seat?
Yeah.
And it was like
Oh,
all.
yeah. I could use those chairs today.
Yeah, those would be comfortable.
It was like a chair and a desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you put your books under the chair. You have your paper in the desk.
You're really
Those were
locked
great.
in.
Yeah, you were really locked. Those
Pencil
were very
holder up
unmovable.
top.
Dialed in.
Yeah.
Everything you
Oh,
need,
the holder
one
in
desk.
the thing. Yeah, very inflexible, but you really, if it worked, it worked.
Yeah. And then we went to the desks where it was chair and then desk with the shit inside. Did you guys have those? Where it was like underneath the thing and it was like a cubby underneath where
Yeah,
you
those
put your
were
shit
great.
in
I
there.
love those were my preferred.
Probably pre-cell phone. Like 7th grade.
I mean, they were before I had a cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't before the first cell phone.
But they were like flip phone. Like they weren't like. I
Yeah.
can't even imagine what an elementary school is like now with these
it's a
devices.
den of villainry and pornography and
They will
violence.
They've all have clear backpacks or stuff. I saw a thing where there's a lot of kids that are doing. Someone like they confiscated a bunch of poppers or not poppers. What are those things? You suck in.
Did you say
fucking,
poppers?
yeah, poppers. What's the fucking?
That's a popper.
No, it's not the. It's not the.
Oh, whip it.
Whip it. There's kids that were doing whippets in elementary school, and there was some school like
Damn.
they were like they went through and tried to find all the whippets, and it filled up a whole trash bag.
Holy
Which that's
cow.
fucking wild. Just like, all right, what does the X stand for? Xylophone. Just
We had a big controversy that like 2 kids got caught sniffing markers.
Damn.
That broke news, dude. They were.
Do we
huffing
ban
Sharpies.
markers?
They rat each other out.
Yeah. Well, like somebody found out, and then it spread like wildfire. Fire.
what?
That they're
You ever
getting
try and
tipsy.
huff?
If I was their lawyer, I'd be like,
sniffed.
sometimes they had strawberry smelling ones.
Yeah.
Case dismissed.
Your Honor,
Entrapment.
I
Dude.
present you item number a strawberry scented Crayola.
They used to, you ever like sometimes teachers have this like big ass marker that when they would take the cap off of it, you could smell it in your seat.
Yeah.
There was this huge thick boy.
The Mac
Big
Daddy.
boy.
Yeah, that was the big bomb. That was Sar Bomber right there. That one was.
The Moab.
Were you guys on chalk?
You remember the Sharpies that
One
were like
teacher
looked
was.
like they were made out of a spray paint can? It was like gunmetal
Yeah,
gray.
those were the
When you took the cap off, it had like a creaking effect, like a old
Yeah, yeah.
saber, like a military
Yeah.
saber. Like,
It was almost like it was so saturated with stuff. It was like liquidy. Like it had like it was so.
It had like
Yeah.
a knocker in it. It was like.
yes, yeah. That was an instrument of doom because like when you were a kid and somebody first introduced the concept of permanence with permanent markers,
Yeah.
even though you couldn't really get a regular mark. Well, I mean you could with whatever, but like on paper, a magic marker and a Sharpie are doing the same amount of damage. It's really just about
Yeah.
like boards and stuff that a Sharpie. But the responsibility of a Sharpie, it felt like getting your first gun.
It was Oh yeah. That was actually genuinely when they were like, "This is permanent." I was literally holding that like it was like plutonium. I
Yeah.
was like, holy shit.
Yeah, if I was drawing and I misangled the Sharpie or whatever, got a misstroke,
You know.
I was like, and this is with permanent. So
this
it's
is-
over. The
this is-
drawing is ruined if I can't integrate this.
This is forever. You know what really sad? You ever have a thing where they would give you like small little whiteboards,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you'd get one that was just like it had a bunch of red shit, like clearly someone had written on a permanent marker on it, and it wasn't as cool
Yeah.
as me. I mean, a terrible feeling. That was my first big letdown in my life when I didn't get like the new shiny fresh one where it just glided across. I had some shitty used one.
Speaking of letdowns, I'm now remembering kind of the sinking realization that being able to draw a T-Rex on one of those, like the year it lost value.
The year of drawing a T-Rex lost.
Like,
value?
because I could draw really accurate T-Rexes through
Yeah, there
most
is,
of
like,
my
a
childhood.
graph of where people stop caring as much about the T-Rex.
And it's a pretty, like, I used to be able to just hold that up, and, like, guys would be like, yep, that's what I wanted to see. You nailed it. And I would be like, it's all proportioned correctly. I got the gate right. Like,
the
Yeah.
gate.
and then one year you just hold up that dinosaur picture and 2 girls laugh and a guy pushes you in a locker and you're like, what
The
has this
hell
culture
happened?
become?
What happened over the summer?
We don't have respect for our core values anymore.
We said in the yearbook, "Hags, have a great summer, and not forget the T-Rexes are cool." Did you guys ever have a school, like a 4th grade market fair, kind of like where you had to come up with something like they would give you like fake money, like
Yeah.
a business or something like that?
That's a very vague memory.
Kind of. We had
I'm
like a
scratching the
carnival
surface
thing.
of that memory.
I remember one kid's. There were kids that had that was a gigantic bug. That was like a prehistorically big bug.
They're crawling all over me.
We had one kid that that we did a thing where it was you pay money and we had a little cutout of Frosty and you could flick a paper football and flip the Frosty around. It didn't work. It was a scam. It was like kind of like a scare in the same way those like state fair rides are, like, you know, shoot rides where you can't actually win. We made one of those, and then someone brought in a PlayStation, or just brought in a game. They played Super Smash Brothers, and those guys took all the money.
Yeah.
No one came to our booth because they let some kids bring in a screen and like you can play around at Super Smash Brothers.
Somebody would win a business fair by being those are the people who would go on to be like a business savvy, like an executive. Because I think the dorks would try and come up with a novel, like an invention.
Exactly.
And then the people who would win would be people who would be like, I made my own Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And they would
they would hit what's popular and fucking...
They had a finger on the zeitgeist even at that age.
Dude, I was a hustler. I used to sell invisible ink pens in 6th grade.
I would have bought that up.
We had a Connect. We had a Connect that would order them.
Yeah.
And then we get a shipment. We get a shipment in, and then I would hawk. Listen to this. Back of the pen had a black light on it.
Ooh.
Holy
that's
moly.
Still doing
I'm a salesman, dude. I don't know. They had somewhere online. My buddy had the plug. I don't want to.
Did you guys have? Did your parents get the Oriental Trading Co. magazine? My mom got that, and we had a subscription for a while where you could order stuff like wholesale price from China, and it was like a magazine. We'd have it like, you know, next to the highlights in the shitter, and I just sit there and like look at it, like, holy fuck, $10.99 for 100 Uncle Sam rubber duckies.
That's a steal.
That's nothing. I'd circle stuff for my mom.
It was like
the
'90s Alibaba.
Yes. Yeah. In print.
There was an app someone just showed me that's basically that, where you can get like jewelry, but like shitty.
Temu?
Yeah, literally that. Or it's like you can get a gold chain for 98 cents. And gold is in parentheses and it's spelled with like 3 O's or whatever. But like, I made the mistake where I signed up for that. And I was like, I don't think I've ever used that, but I used my same password that I use for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So China's really in my shit right now. I feel like they're not going to be respectful of the fact that I said, please cover that.
That would be a hilarious way to just entrap a bunch of them, like people by just offering ultra cheap items.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of innocent men that are trying to go through a streetwear phase, and it's entrapment.
The bomber jackets are tanking your credit score. Yeah, I tried to go through not a full streetwear phase, but I tried to get some, like badass high fashion Japanese street clothes at some point.
Yeah.
First of all, they're made out of the same fabric as childhood Halloween costumes.
They really are.
So there's no breathability.
That shit just disintegrates like when you put it on.
Yeah, and they're sized for Koreans. So like I would order a large and I'd get it, and it would be like 2 sizes too small.
Dude, we had this flea market, and it was like this really ghetto flea market. And you could buy like nice Nikes and Jordans and shit. And so like me and my buddy went up there on a Saturday. He bought a pair of Jordans, and like they were sick. They were like Jordan 6s, looked awesome, but the bottoms of them were hard plastic. And so like when he would walk on tile, dude, he was like a deer on like a marble floor, dude. He was just like ice skating around, and literally like 2 days later, the soles fell off of both of the shoes. Like it was the most rock hard plastic.
That's hilarious. I imagine him playing basketball. It sounds like he's tap dancing.
Dude, he's just clip clopping down.
Oh,
just calling him from the other room, and it just sounding like Fred. If you're blue and you don't know.
Just shit. The rest of the basketball team like, pass it, Rudolph. That's so funny.
Just rock hard shoes. Lasted 2 seconds. We thought it was so awesome because they were like $16. We're like, dude, these are sick.
Finally, in my price range. Did any of you guys ever try and buy like the T-shirts that are like cut down to your knees, or like a leather jacket, or like I tried to get a pair of, when I was in punk rock bands, black jeans that had like leather on the calves. I think I ordered from China.
I might be, not yet, but I might. I mean, we'll see how this year's going with my decisions. I might end up wearing that.
They had studs on the pockets.
Yeah, I had a studded belt. I went through like an alt rock and roll phase where I had a studded.
Checkered Vans.
I didn't have checkered Vans. I did have a lot of skate shoes.
Yeah.
I had some crazy. Do you remember Osiris skate shoes?
Yeah.
Those monster tongues on
those
those
were
suckers.
gigantic. Those were like moon shoes. Those things were big boys.
That was almost like when, you know how you can watch like videos about animal evolution, and it'll be like everything goes up to an extreme, and then it kind of like like you can see the nose on like a shrew, then a tapir, then by the time it gets to an elephant, it's like an impossible. The tongues on skate shoes eventually became couch cushions.
Yeah, somewhere around like 02, dude. Those things were humongous out of the CCS catalog.
Eventually, the laces just became a decorative element. They no longer served a function. They were just a remnant of a past evolutionary timeline.
Shoes like were a big fucking deal, though.
Yeah, I
did not put one thought into my look or appearance.
I got skate shoes because my brothers were like legit skaters, and my mom would be like, "We're going to buy shoes," so we'd go to the skate shop, and I'd just buy skate shoes. And I'd tell people I wore them because I had wide feet, and these fit generally better than other shoes, but I wasn't skating. I was a poser.
You didn't skate at all?
Longboarded from time to time.
Yeah.
But again, that's mostly to be able to fill in the gaps when the questions hit.
I was really, like that kid in Rocket Power that had the yellow shirt and the glasses.
Sammy.
I was
the squid.
The squid.
The squid.
I was like the squid. I had friends who were squids, and I was squidding harder. I was I'm just going to kind of ride the board on a flat surface. Then when you guys start going crazy, I'm just going to kind of be there as a hype man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I skated hardcore, but I was too scared to get good. Like, I couldn't do stairs, and it's like, that shit would freak me out. I got hurt like once. I'm like, fuck this, dude.
Yeah, my little brothers could like both skate. They still can both skate like vert ramps and stuff.
Yeah, they shred.
I always wanted to be able to do that.
Yeah, like the vert. I think I've dropped in once, and I almost had a heart attack.
Yeah. I tried
It's
dropping in on the thing, and I was like, had little Bambi legs.
Yes.
I liked the feeling in my body of going back and forth on a half pipe, but I would never even attempt a trick. I just wanted to go like down. It was like autistically. It's like when you put a chicken's head on the ground and draw a straight line, and it gets hypnotized until you shake it.
I had a teacher in 7th grade who she was like a 300-pound Muslim lady, like with full hijab and stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't know anything about her life. And then one day it was casually dropped in the summer. She was a skate teacher, which
She's
was like
the 300-pound hijab wearing skate teacher,
which is literally it's almost like out of a Nick show. Like, whoa, that's where the episode ends. But yeah, she was going Cary Skate Park.
Damn.
That's where she was out there teaching.
Is that different than skate carry?
I think it was actually Skate Carry. I don't know which one. I went to Skate Carry one time and got scared and left.
That's where my little brothers would go. Skate Carry. They became
Skate Carry.
I mean, kind of local, little infamous local legends, if I remember correctly. They had a community there.
Is it too late to become a local skate legend? I don't know.
Not for you. You have legs out of a fucking cartoon.
Jesus Christ.
If I remember, I'm going to edit a picture of Mark's legs into this.
Yeah, if these get cut on one spoke, it's just
you're going down.
Like a watermelon got smashed.
That's so funny. You nick one of Mark's anaconda veins in his leg. It's gushing like a fire hose. That's wild. Just immediately like a Quentin Tarantino level splatter.
Did you guys get into dirt ramps?
My brothers
on the bikes at all.
My brothers did that. My brothers were extreme sporters, and I was.
It was by.
Cruise.
I mean, this is Cary talk. I don't know if you. Yeah, I can't actually. I don't know where in Cary it was. It was kind of by Silver Lake, but there was like woods back there where my friends went, a couple of their friends, and they like cleared a bunch of trees and they made like a dirt ramp.
That's so.
It was like
awesome.
It went all the way down a hill, and they got like excavators. Like they actually did a pretty good job of like a. And then some people lived back there and ruined it by fucking doing drugs and not living by the board. You know what I mean? And then people didn't want to go back there anymore because they kind of turned into a flat place.
When my friend and I were too young to do drugs, we found a bong in the woods and tried to break it. Because we thought we were doing
destroy it.
Yeah. It was and then I think he told me, he's like, I think I went back later and tried to like salvage it.
There is a certain age where you just want to be a cop.
Yes.
Up until like
stop.
8 or something.
Well, there's a certain age where you're hanging out, because in the suburbs, you're just any pit of woods, you're hanging out in woods. And there's kids older than you that are hanging out in woods, not for the love of exploring creeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. I never gave up the creek. I was a creek explorer until through college.
Late in the
I
game,
never left the creek.
I
never left
stayed
the creek.
When people were,
in some ways, we're kind of exploring the creek right now.
that's true.
We're kind of still in
Our
the creek.
podcast aims to capture the spirit of exploring a new creek.
Dude, we
Bring
had
it to every episode.
a creek behind the ice rink, and that was epic because they would Zamboni the ice rink, and then you would have year-round snowball fights.
Unreal.
And then you
Huge.
could wade down into the most disgusting drainage pit of all time and just skip rocks, dude.
When other kids were making dirt ramps and I was in airsoft, we made forts and like foxholes and trenches and stuff.
Yeah, I remember airsoft.
There's still some, if you go in my woods, you can still see like caveman-esque remnants of like bunkers, barricades, forts and stuff.
Dude, you get fucked up in the woods, man.
You have
Yeah.
so much fun.
My buddy cut his finger like wide open on one time. It like sliced his whole finger, like just because we were nailing boards to trees and shit.
My friend Ashton Dyer, shout out, he got his tooth shot off with an airsoft gun.
Oh,
And it was when me and my brother had like the shittiest little clear like handguns, just like technically let us play. And my neighbor, who was eventually joined the Marines and went to Iraq, he was preparing for that with like getting $200, absolutely could like puncture armor, fucking machine gun stuff. And so we would come around with our little like these. I mean, the trajectory of these bullets out of our guns would go like they would just fly out.
Dude,
And then,
he had the elite stuff.
and then Ashton got like in a corner like a movie, like turned around at a fence in my friend Boyer's backyard and just got lit up, and it just just like shot the tooth into the back of his mouth.
There was a pretty epic UN negotiation in my friend group because we got into airsoft and we were starting to spend more and more money on better and better
You had,
guns.
like an arms agreement.
And then everyone, like, one friend decided it wasn't cool anymore. And then they were like, well, we're only going to play, like, in the backyard, like, ironically, with, like, crappy guns. And I remember I was like, I held it down. I was like, I'm not going to buy This is all cabbage stew, guys. Sorry, Mark's downwind. That's
There's enough trees and stuff around here to mask it.
And I held it. I was like, I will not participate in that. I won't play. I'm like 9 lifeguard paychecks into like high-end airsoft guns.
Yeah.
And then one friend came back around and would go back and play airsoft with me or something like that, 1 or 2. And 1 or 2 never did it again. They just would only play with like the Walmart guns.
Yeah.
Like for whatever.
They get intense. We had to stop because the mean lady next door like was finding the pelts in her yard. Was finding she was kind of like when they would,
Dude, some guy came and
she was
yelled
in
at us.
Cambodia. She was getting a lot of ordinances that weren't meant for her.
We did have a few Ho Chi Minh trails that went into territory.
Ho Chi Minh trails
that
from the
went
other
into
cul-de-sac.
territory that was not eligible for warfare. And one day somebody came out and yelled at us, and this is how dorky we were. He comes in and he's like, you think I like looking back out of my yard when I'm inside with my kids and seeing you running around with AK-47s? And we were walking back like dick between our legs back, like pouting. And I was like, it's an AK-74U. And he came out and he said it was an AK-47. It's like, get it right.
My brother got the cops, dude. He had them cranking some paintball guns. They had the fuzz on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they came in hot. Tactical team.
I bet we couldn't get away with it now. The neighborhood's blown up too much. There's too high density of people like hiking in the woods.
And
going
like
around
everyone
trails.
shoots their classroom up, so
Yeah.
everyone's scared of school shootings now.
Yeah.
So you can't just
We used to play it pretty
wheels.
publicly. It used to be like if somebody was walking up the path, we'd be like, time out!
Yeah.
And now I'm sure if I went and tried to have fun again,
They would
they'd
accuse
say,
you.
go to a place where you can do this. And I
we
would
went
say,
paintballing. Like, I remember going to a legit course, and we went with my buddy in grade school who was like, he was like a hunting family.
Yeah.
Like his uncle went. I remember like the dude just destroyed all of us. Like I remember getting hit in the sternum.
Yeah.
This is the last time I went paintballing, just because I got absolutely destroyed in the
I
sternum.
never went paintballing.
I used to go to the
Fucking
airsoft
hurt.
field. Somebody had like a nice, like, dozen-acre, like 2-story buildings, castle on a hill, like with woods in between, and they do like not professional, but like, like on the weekends.
Yeah,
You pay $20 for the day or whatever. New guys could rent guns, and then like that was right around the time airsoft had its renaissance, and so me and my friends were kind of good at it, and then like it hit this thing where you get like 25-year-olds in like full tack gear with like earpieces.
People started looking like Judge Dredd walking in there or something. It started being a little bit.
And I just remember like 3 20-somethings in like $200 like being like, all right, so I guess we'll probably just do like, like us first, like you guys. And we were like, oh, okay. And then it was just like, dude, it was like Black Hawk Down, and we were the Somalis. These guys just tore through us.
That was a war crime. That was
John Wick. I was trying to command a black kid in a sweater with a rented shotgun. Go! You gotta go around left. Whack! He's down. I'm going into the building.
No! Cover my 6. Signal to the rep that we want to stop. I remember there was a really cool laser tag place in Cary that was like on a strip mall. And they had a little perch that you could go up to in the top. And it had multiple levels. And that was cool. And then, if you'll remember, a terrible laser tag spot was Funworks.
Fuck, I remember that name.
There were Funworks. You would go back there. It was basically...
I was about to ask if that was the one with neon black lights. And then I was like, I think that's every laser tag.
It was just like an open room, and they had like 2 walls, and they'd painted an alien on them. And you're basically... it was a slaughter. You would just go in there. There'd be nothing to duck behind.
I played laser tag one time. I was running around, and somebody ran into me, and the butt of their gun hit my nose. And I told everyone I broke my nose. I don't think I did. I told everyone that the lump in my nose is because I got laser tag gun butted. And literally just now I'm realizing that's probably not the case.
Yeah. Are you ready to
like they put you down like a prisoner of war?
Oh, stay in line. Oh, man. I remember some glorious airsoft victories. And some devastating failures.
Yeah, I remember it when they started breaking out those like hard pellets. Like, he had one that had like a laser scope, and that's when it became when you could hear like a sound of it going off, and then like you could when it would miss and it would like bust wood behind me, and I was like, I think I'm gonna maybe we go inside and play Mario Party.
I'm still rocking a few of those in the crib.
Yeah, I get triggered every time I see those ones. I was like, this is what it was like.
Those are so much fun. Steve, I texted the questions to you if you want to dive in, just because I'm realizing that we want to grab dogs on the way back. We might want to knock out 2 cues. Oh, I killed a bug. It's on the ground somewhere. Sorry, bug.
Hey, guys, you need a vamp.
Hey, Mark.
Say what?
We have to vamp.
Time to vamp a Rooney. Let's try to think of something just to spice in.
What's your favorite building in the skyline?
This is okay. So you're not gonna be able to pick this one up, but I can actually think about this a lot. This is where my tism comes out a little.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be a building right to the right of the Willis Tower and to the left of Trump. That's where we would.
I agree with
that.
Yeah, we legitimately have like one of the best symmetrical looking signs.
Pop a big boy in there.
Get in there. And
here's an idea. Skyscraper. Every single floor is a different fast food place.
Fantastic.
And it's only restaurants. And it's like 100 stories tall.
How many? This would be a horrible podcasting. I almost asked how many can we name?
You want to vamp.
How many can we name?
How many?
Chang's.
McDonald's.
McDonald's should have 2. It should be like, like mall, like where they make big, like the restaurant that loses money, but it's just for them to have footprints in an advertisement. They should build a big ass McDonald's in there that has a slide, and you should be able to order shit that's available like only in France.
Yeah, it should be. There should be a fucking Willy Wonka McDonald's up here.
I think
Wonka
like the Starbucks roastery.
Yeah, they need to have a bunch
but a McDonald's.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have this feeling about open mics sometimes. I think what we do is you do this, 100 floors, different fast food, big grand opening. As soon as the line that's like around the block, as soon as everyone's in, you just nail the front door shut, burn it to the ground.
It's a trap.
That might need to, once everyone's in and they've gotten their thing, all of a sudden.
I think it just should be like, let's see how fat we can all get.
Yeah, no, I actually would. Here's the thing: is I tease it, but I would legitimately have a good time.
That's
like,
heaven.
Exploring it.
You know,
You'd be like, I'm going up to the 10th floor to get ribs.
A
Meet
fun
me up
game
there.
to do would be you walk in, close your eyes, press a button. That's where you're eating.
Ooh,
That's
that
where you
would be a
take-
great. That's a McPartland first aid idea.
I was about to say that's immediately where my mind goes.
That's entrapment.
And we're going up there, and ooh, that's expensive. We might have to split. I don't have a TGI Fridays money. I love a TGI Fridays.
All right. You
Thank
guys ready?
goodness she's employed. Yeah. Hit us with the first question of the pod.
All right. I'm terrified of my girlfriend's dog. This thing is a 60-pound monster.
Oh my God.
We're hardly ever at her place together, so it hasn't been a huge issue.
Yikes.
But now we're talking about moving in together. Any dog advice, my dogs?
Terrified of the 60-pound dog. Well,
First of all, you got to assert your dominance immediately.
Yeah.
you do. If you
Fuck
walk
the
in there,
girlfriend in front of it.
Yeah.
And then go and piss on the dog.
Yeah. Pee.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say you're going to have to pee on it. You're going to have to watch a lot of Caesar Milan, so you're going to have to walk in there and go a lot of times.
Kick it in the ribs.
Kick it in the
Yeah,
ribs.
one good wind
Just
up.
One pointy fucking...
Yeah, actually, I think if I know anything, I feel like particularly in a girlfriend situation, it's if you try to pull it's me or the dog, they go dog every time. So you're going to have to probably overly pretend to like it.
Yeah, I wish I knew if it was is he just scared of it?
Yeah, so
I'm
then-
assuming that it's acting aggressive towards it.
60
Yeah.
pounds isn't that
I'm
large of a
picturing-
dog.
Yeah, but this will happen in a, and we're deep in the pod, so this is just for the true fans. In a lady house, the dog might not have received harsh enough,
Training.
assertive enough training.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
dog might think it's a 50-50 relationship,
Right.
if not the dominant force in the house.
You're gonna have to come in there and really also I picture the 60-pound thing. It might be one of these dogs that is unaware of its size, so it's coming up there if it's coming up there like a pit bull and ripping your arm off. But if it's just like a big old dog, you got to give it some big slaps. You got to be like, you know what? All this free reign of the Ottoman stuff stops here. And
Big dog, big slaps.
big slap, yeah, big dog, big slaps like this. Give him some big man slaps.
It might just be coming in with a handful of treats. Associate
Yeah, hold on.
positive.
Read it one. He's the dog.
It says, I'm terrified of my girlfriend's dog. The thing is a 60-pound monster. We're hardly ever at her place together, so it hasn't been an issue. But now they're talking about moving in.
60 pounds of dog is
Dog's a
muscle.
lot of dog in the
Can you
city.
Google some examples of 60-pound
Big,
dogs?
dude. My dog is like fucking almost 80.
Well, give me an example just for what is a 60-pound dog?
60 pounds.
No, I know, but give me like an example of a breed so I can picture it.
It's like a lab is bigger than that.
Yeah.
A golden retriever is
But
probably
dude,
bigger
but
than
a
that.
60-pound pit bull I'd be scared of it if it was barking and growling.
Oh, for sure. That's the other thing is like, are you a pussy or is this dog actually a threat?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
operating under the assumption that this dog is at least growling. I had a buddy
Yeah.
growing up who had a Australian Shepherd who was probably between 40 and 50 pounds. Not a huge dog or whatever.
Okay, here we go.
But it
Straight
was-
out of the Carolina Dog Crate Company,
There we
boys.
go.
There we go. Good dogs.
If you want to see the scale, this isn't going to do much for the listeners at home.
Give us a visual, just like some. All right, 60
This
pounds.
is 6-pound. Is that the one on the right?
It's the two in the middle. So we're between
Oh, and
an
the-
Australian Shepherd and a golden.
I mean, it's not a large dog.
And a
It's
golden
not.
lab. No, but those. I mean, but it'll freak you out
No, but let's
if it's foaming at the mouth. And
let's get down to business as professional advice givers.
What's the
We've
breed?
had fun times wearing our hat as comedians, but
Yeah.
boys, let's get serious. So there's probably not going to be a way to move in together with that dog. She's not going to euthanize the dog.
No, you're gonna have to figure out.
You're gonna have to. Yeah, This is gonna be an issue. You're gonna have to be like the dog's in a separate. We keep the dog in a separate room. What you want to do is tape up your knuckles and just start absolutely wailing on it. The second that it starts yapping.
Fucking Liam Neeson at the end of The Gray. You remember that movie?
No.
Where
Yeah.
they're hunted by wolves through the Alaskan outback, and at the very end he puts everyone's dead but him, and the wolves have him surrounded, and he puts airplane bottles between his fingers and breaks them and tapes them up. And it just ends with him running at the wolves to go suicide fight
Is that how
the
it
wolves.
ends?
Yeah.
That fucking
It's pretty
rules.
awesome.
Yeah.
Here's
Once
what I
more
say:
to the
grab a
fray.
treat, get the dog, be like, "Hey, just bring it
Yeah.
over," and then just turn and pop a fart right in its face.
That's what you do. Or actually, no. If you create that little bond where you have treats every time, next thing you know, that dog loves you. That dog's so pissed off to see your stupid girlfriend. He's like, when that guy coming over?
Here's I'll say, and also in the realm of serious advice, you got to get the girlfriend on your side.
Yeah.
Because she's got to be your ally, and like if the dog fucks up, she can't. If the dog only respects the girlfriend, then you need her to like come bring force to
Also,
bear.
Because here's the thing: there's no such thing as a girlfriend's dog in your shared house. That's y'all's dog.
Ooh.
It's tough to be like. It's tough to have that dog be a separate. It's the.
You got to integrate.
Sparky's going to obedience school.
Yes.
No more couch. Is the dog out of the bed for you guys, or you?
It's like if you had like a relative stay over, you wouldn't be like, my relative's staying with my girlfriend. She's staying with us. That dog's staying with you. That's a joint dog right there.
Yeah.
It's joint dog.
So it can't forever be separate bedrooms, and you know what I mean. Eventually it's got to be fully integrated into your life.
Yes.
Which I think a 60-pound dog will have no choice but to.
Mm-hmm.
Allow, eventually it's going to have to integrate.
You never know. I mean, she could be letting this thing run wild.
Yeah.
On the
might
couch,
be-
jumping all over you,
You might
like
have
you
to
said.
pop her in the face with a newspaper roll.
Take the squirt bottle to her.
Yeah.
Two different size squirt bottles. Just
Yeah, I would say, squirt bottle's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, it all depends.
It
I mean, we don't
catches
know what kind of mutt this is.
Yeah.
We don't know, it could be a decent dog and he's scared of. You ever seen somebody that's scared of dogs? It's crazy.
I mean, I've told the story on the pod before about getting attacked.
You got attacked by a dog?
Yeah, remember the dog swim
Oh, yeah.
place? I got double attacked.
That thing was just fighting for its life in a swimming pool.
No, they came out of the pool. They got me to dry land.
Oh, no.
They wanted to get me.
Get there on their turf.
I could take 2 dogs in the pool.
Did it bite you?
Yeah.
2 dogs in the pool is one on
One got
land.
the arm, one got underneath my leg on the other side.
Oh, my God.
Tried to bring me down like hyenas.
Fucking yikes.
Scary. And I'm still, a wolf will get me, my head turning.
Yeah.
I definitely don't have dog fear, but I do have this is why I was saying I have a very healthy respect for the damage that a determined dog could do, because you think you're like, I mean, it's almost like being attacked by a squirrel, where you're like, what would it do? And then you're like, it's an animal.
Yeah,
it's just gonna maul you with no fear.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's gonna come at you. You're gonna be, every time I've been on the road, particularly as a kid, where there was a big dog on the street coming towards me, and that's when you realize you have no plan.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I think I could handle it, and it's like, if this thing it hits me, I got no ability.
A poodle corralled me and my brother on our way to. We were walking to a family friend's house to get a ride to school, and this neighbor had a poodle, came out of the bushes, stopped us going that way. We put our bikes in front of ourselves.
Yikes.
And then the dog went back around the bushes, came out the other side, like a Roman testudo. Just moved the bikes to form like a barrier, and kind of, I don't remember if they called the dog back or if we just backed slowly up and the dog didn't leave its area or whatever. But
I got attacked.
We were hunted like the Velociraptor from Jurassic Park.
Clever girl. I got attacked by a horde of geese one time, and I'm still anti-hordes of geese. I was one time I visited my grandmother's grave or something, which I still don't know where that is, because this is where the geese live. And I walked after a bunch of geese, and eventually they realized they had the numbers on me, and I was 8, and they turned around and they chased me up a hill. And turns out
a hill is such
gotta
a
watch
funny
out for the
detail.
birds.
I can imagine the flailing of an 8-year-old trying to work against gravity.
And they were doing a lot of that.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Combo treat, newspaper, and get the girlfriend on your side.
Yeah, get the girlfriend and the dog on your side. And you can't be so visibly like, oh, the dog, because she's going to,
Yeah.
Gotta learn to love the dog with treats.
You gotta take it through the protocol.
Protocol.
Training school if all else fails.
Mm-hmm.
If you're moving in together, you can stop at nothing to fucking wrangle this beast.
Yeah.
Do a little light wrestling.
Light wrestling.
You know,
Handful
like you
of
said,
dark
like you're
chocolate
playing
in the pool.
That's the
Give yourself a tactical edge.
the kind of wrestling where the dog just kind of let the dog know what strength you're working with. You're playing, but he knows.
With my childhood dog, just it's very funny to like. Just it is exactly the same as when you're play wrestling with a sibling, where it's like it's all play, and then eventually the dog would get me a little too hard, and then I'd have to like seriously fight it to like not get, you know what I mean? Where you're like, no. And then I mean, now looking in hindsight, I feel bad for the dog because the dog's like, we're playing, we're going. Oh fuck, I thought we were just doing.
Right.
Thought we were playing. But it didn't understand that I was a weak
What do you
boy.
think? Do you think dogs will ever surpass us in intelligence?
No.
No, dolphins are the ones that are coming close. Every time we hook up a little brain monitor to those things, it's like, help us. Then we gotta pop them off. Like,
Whoa!
Is it really?
Holy
okay,
moly.
these things must be calibrated wrong. All right, we're going to keep them in the shed aquarium, keep them in the bathtub.
They're super smart.
Yeah, dolphins, I think, are one of the smartest. I think
dolphins and whales. My dad was telling me. Don't you love dad facts?
Oh, yeah.
Like, because
No.
dads are still fully engaged in
no, go on.
the cold hard dad facts. So, the hard lessons.
I was about to say, dad fact, there's a limit to Bud Heavies your liver can take. That's not a fun dad fact. All right. No, go on.
Anyway, more traditional dad facts. Because they're still tapped into print media. You know what I mean? They still, even if it's online, they're still like getting like Newsweek articles and stuff.
Yeah.
And so my dad would just be like, they recorded blue whales talking 2,000 miles apart. Because they'll go down to the deep, so sound
like,
already travels in water like
Yeah.
100 times faster than land, whatever the number is. And they'll go down to the bottom of these like mile deep trenches. And then they'll make noises in the bottom of the trench, and you have this like echo like you
like
would
a
if you
funnel,
yelled in
like,
a canyon.
Yeah.
Plus the distance of the accelerated speed of water with sound.
What do you think they're saying?
Today
I'm wet. Yeah. I'm cold and wet.
Today I was trying to message Kenyon something on
Yeah.
my Slack, and I accidentally messaged the entire team.
Woo!
I mean, it wasn't anything. It was early in the morning. I was like 6, so no one heard it. But I was like, I basically all I messaged was like, is the queue being hella slow to you? And I was like, oh fuck, everyone saw that. I imagine that whales have a similar thing where you accidentally are just like, damn, these krill are really fucking my stomach up. And it was like, oh, everyone in the Pacific Coast heard that.
Oh, I just ate a bug.
Dude, I'm freaked out that they're flying in my ears.
Oh, that one went fully in.
No, but you know the thing when they study animal brains, it's always like what they don't have in like the cognitive, like, you know, object, all the bullshit that makes us humans of like thoughts or ability to remember the past and quantify stuff. They have just a bigger portion of like emotional connection to each other, and like the depths of pain is worse. Which every time they do that, they're like, apparently cows have like 3 times the amount of like emotional attachments, which I don't know who they're doing this. This might be Big Cow selling us lies.
Big cattle.
But I remember
chicken.
Morgan Spurlock trying to tell me that fact to get me to stop eating at fucking Wendy's or whatever.
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Whatever happened to Morgan Spurlock? What a fucking name that was.
What a guy. I remember they showed
It's
us
a
that.
real Star Trek name.
Yeah. I'm Morgan Spurlock.
Remember they showed us that in health class.
That's a documentarian's name.
Morgan
right there.
Spurlock here. I'm going to.
There's that, and who's the other guy? Michael Bowling for Columbine?
Michael Moore.
Michael Moore. Mediocre name.
I remember my neighbor, the dad of the one whose teeth got shot out, didn't like Michael Moore because of Fahrenheit 9/11. You weren't allowed to bring Michael Moore up because he thought he was a traitor to the country. And I didn't know what Fahrenheit 9/11 was, but I just know, like, anytime I'm going to go over there, anytime I'm going to step into that finely manicured lawn, I better keep my Michael Moore thoughts at the door.
Was that 9/11 was goofed up?
Yeah,
The
I think he had
response or
questions.
something?
And
The,
Mr. Dyer didn't want to hear him.
Oh, I recognize that last name.
Yeah, you probably do, yeah.
I didn't realize
He was in Troop 200.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're going down to the Boy Scout troops. Holy cow!
I'm sure my dad
Mark and I
would.
both stand up and Troop 200, the only troop man.
By air, land, and sea, we will.
We just go over there into those prairies and start building ourselves a little makeshift fire.
Some redheaded kid in Troop 200 tried to get me to drink sassafras tea so I'd get diarrhea.
Yeah, I would remember that. That was big. Because that was like every time you would get you'd be backed up in the woods, they'd tell you to eat some sassafras.
Yeah, I never shat. We go on full weekend camping trips. I wouldn't shit from Friday to Sunday. I had some 3-hour drives home with my dad, like
Just
absolutely crowning.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
You catch the concert lights? That's why we couldn't be out there.
Yeah, it's pretty wicked, dude.
That's cool.
I worked a Post Malone show there one time. I was on the stage
Really?
at the same time as Post Malone.
Holy cow.
Wait,
Yeah.
he like let people on stage?
No, I was just like waiting to tear it down.
Oh, I would. Okay, I want to do that.
It was pretty wild.
Waiting to Tear Down could be a great Post Malone album.
I guess
Yeah.
you could say that you guys got the podcasting merit badge today.
We really did. I've been waiting. They didn't have podcasts back then, so.
What do you think the merit? But that's got to be one of them today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
audio tech for a
unfortunately.
podcast.
They have a lot of bullshit merit badges that are about like teaching you life skills for like the office and stuff now. Or back in the day, it was all about building bear traps. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now that they have like
Yeah.
they have an office for like proficiency in Microsoft and stuff. Scott's been ruined,
Microsoft
dude.
Excel merit badge.
Running a pivot table with your Scoutmaster, setting up the Wi-Fi.
Well, we got another question.
Yeah, we got
Do it.
one more. Hit us with one more.
Oh,
Oh,
y'all
no
are all
problem.
good.
You're all good.
You are all good.
Playing some.
You got
jams.
life advice questions you want to
Do you
answer
have
on the
life advice
pod?
questions? No,
They're
we should have
gone.
asked actually genuinely when they're over here.
Yeah. It's too late now.
Well,
You know, have you ever seen that picture where there's like that famous picture where someone was in China on vacation and like in the background of the photo, turns out 20 years later their husband was just walking around.
Yeah.
That's what that is right there. Turns out my wife.
It
Oh, and
turns
like
out
they
20
noticed?
years later, Mark's accuser was walking.
Good thing you can't see her in the darkness. The darkness is what got me into this mess. And they're listening. That's what song were they listening to? That sounded like "Oh Yeah" by Yellow. That was, oh
Yeah, that was
It
bad.
sounded like it was
weird.
just generic beats.
They're having fun. They're getting bigger pops than we are.
Yeah.
Speaking of romance,
We got one more.
I've been with my girlfriend for 4 years and never dated anyone before.
Nerd, and then we just the podcast ends.
I'm very happy with her, but worry that it's only because she's all I know.
That's a tough one.
I don't know how to talk about this with her.
You don't.
You don't. That's the problem. Shit. Wait. If that's like, so that's the only relationship you've been in.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like there's no like answer to that one. Like I do feel like the thing you might actually have to break, like, because that.
Or you just do it. I mean, like, why? What does it matter why you like her?
Yeah. But
If
like,
it's working.
I guess so. If you
Mark and I are approaching
yeah,
this from
we are
single.
very. Yeah, this is very different.
Mark and I are both trying to defend our current
Yeah, I know, I was
situation,
about to
so
be
we don't have to admit that we're broken people.
This is entirely. I'm not standing at all in an objective rationale for this. Well, now I feel like but this is different for me because now I feel like I've been around the block. There's been enough bipolar waitresses that I've been through. But I feel like if it's the only person that you know, I do wonder if that's a knot you're ever able to massage out, or if it's like maybe you do have to get it out of your system, or actually genuinely, or the answer is if it's love and you care about the person, you need to just recognize that's just
Here's
what that is. It's just a false idea of a better life that is probably not going to be better than the life you live in now.
I think that's even if it's not better or worse. If there's one thing that I've learned in the last 3 years, it's that the hunt doesn't ever end.
No.
You know what I mean? Like you won't like ever be. The only assurance that you can have that you're making the right decision comes from within. And like he could leave this woman on like a hunt to see if other women could be what she currently is now.
That's what he would be looking for.
And so it's like here's the thing, if it's a bad relationship and she's the only one that you've been with and you're like, I'm just staying with her because it's all I know.
Yeah, if you have
that's
some-
different than being like, I really love her, but I just don't know what else is out there. And that question, that way lies madness. That way lies expensive blue hair dye
That's
and
exactly what
gauged ears and a PBR thrown at a wall at a Halloween Christmas party that you regret for the rest of your life.
And again, we're both coming from very just neutral observers to this.
We come in absolute peace.
We come in peace.
Yeah, that is. Also, if he says like I can't tell if it's all I know, maybe it's like maybe it is gotten like Seattle. And he's like the kind of the sunk cost fallacy of like I've been in for so long, I don't know if I want to give it up.
Yeah, there might not be an answer.
Which is tough.
You guys got life advice questions you want answered on the podcast?
Huh?
You have questions about life you want answered on a podcast?
You guys? About life?
Maybe they can
It's
answer
a comedy. It's a comedy advice podcast where people send in their question and comedians.
How is the ocean?
Exactly.
That's a good question.
You guys are having way more fun than we are.
Yeah, you are.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, they can answer this question.
Well, it's a lake. We'll start with that.
Are you guys finished?
We're as close as you'll get in Chicago.
You're doing a YouTube video?
Yeah, so go on YouTube. Yeah, we
Yeah.
should say that you're technically being filmed right now.
You're gonna have to sign a legal release form for this.
What kind of what?
They can get in on this one. They can get on.
You want to
this
hear
one.
the last one?
Yeah, maybe
hell-
you can chime in on the last question and tell us what you do.
Yeah.
All right. It says. It says I've been with my girlfriend for 4 years and never dated anyone before. I'm very happy with her, but worry that it's only because she's all I know. I don't know how to talk about this with her.
You literally just talking about me. That's me. That's literally been with someone for a long time. That's all she knows, and she doesn't know like how to reason. If it's like the right decision to make.
Yeah, so this is good because we've just been going off this one text trying to assume what they're thinking, and now we've got a live.
We've got an example.
So is it like feeling? Is this like the only
It's
person
like-
you've been with, or is this like?
Yeah, but it's like you don't know how to get it. Like, like you love them, but like when you're with them, it's like it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just
So
with
it's
them
like-
for the
It's hard
period.
to move on,
Yeah.
because that's what you're used to.
Yeah. Yeah, do you feel like you're just with him because it's what you're used to now? Or do you think you've just settled into a routine? Like if he showed up with like flowers and was like, let's go on a vacation to Hawaii, whatever, would that
That'd be-
put the spark back in it? Or do you think it's just over?
I feel like I would just go on this vacation, but like I don't feel
Yeah, I would take anyone.
I don't feel like the spark will be there anymore,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to get that spark back. Yeah, it's hard. Cause, like,
Yeah.
when you have a routine, you're young, it's like everything you're doing is together, especially But do you guys ever be like that where you don't have a spark and then you dream about them and then you feel like you got a spark again?
Here's the
'Cause I
thing.
just-
Yeah.
Spark will not last forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't. It's like, that's what I feel
Like, you can't
I
be
felt-
happy all the
like,
time.
When I was young, like I felt like, yeah, we're gonna be forever together. Like that's what I wanted, but like now that like I see it, like it's like that's why I'm like, I don't know. So,
Yeah.
Like I love you, but it's like it's not what I want no more.
Yeah. See, she's got a leg up over the person who asked the question because she knows
Yeah.
it's not what she wants.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you're just left with the how, not really the if.
It's
You know
kind
what I
of
mean?
tough where I feel like with this one, it's like you put so much time into it or something, and it feels like I think I was in a similar thing where I don't know.
What should I do? It's like, 'cause it feels like I don't care about him, but like I do, but it's just like the way you act, it's like it's not
How long you guys been together?
like 6 years.
6
Yeah,
years.
6 years. You got 2 years on this.
Since they were like in their early teens, now they're like getting out of like I feel like they're growing like.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah,
each
you're
of those
still very
years
young.
count for like dog years. You become like you like age a lot. Like
Yeah, you're way different. It's
Yeah, you're
between
wo-
16 and 21 is you're a whole
completely
different
person.
Yeah.
But I think I give advice to that person. I don't think you should stick with someone just because like you feel like you have a bond because you're just like mentally holding on to something that's not there. Like it's not there no more.
But
Like,
here
all
is
the
my
time,
question.
Like it's like you love the moment, but it's like it's not there no more. But it's like it's hard to let go because like that's what you're used to. You know?
So this is the question that I was posing to the listener because because Mark is single, but Steve and I are in relationships. So Mark and I got two different perspectives.
Indeed.
My thought, because the question was that they really love him, but they're worried it's because it's all they know. My
It's
thought
like-
was why does it matter if as long as it's working? Are you just going to leave them to try and just figure out if somebody else can be what they already are? That seems like a fruitless That way, as somebody who was single for like 7 years,
What if, like, they've done
you can drive
wrong,
yourself crazy.
But like they're ready to change now. But like it's like you're not ready to change. It's like
That if they've done you wrong,
Yeah, if they've done you wrong.
If they've done you wrong, I would not go.
that's another. I think that's the only excuse you need. If you're looking for an out, you can just be like, I can't get over
even if
this.
you go for an out, you're still gonna be looking for those
He
same
did shit
qualities.
before, but like
Yes.
he's like a different person right now. So it's like I don't know if I'm a different person right now.
Yeah, if you're not lining up, you're not lining. I mean, that's a like you could really dig deep and be like, I accept that you've changed since you did me dirty. But if you can't accept it, if you're not there yet, you can't force it. Am I crazy? I couldn't be with somebody who cheated even if I knew it
that'd
wasn't
be
their
tough.
fault. Even if they were like, that was 5 years ago, I'm a different person.
But then it's like secret because sometimes you guys are both cheating. You guys
For
don't know
real,
that.
Yeah.
Honestly, that put you to a dark place. I never want to go back to that.
If you cheat back, you think like,
But like,
I say then if that's the case, you've just torched the whole thing.
Yeah.
If you both cheated, then you're just like, what are we even doing in this anymore? We clearly both want something else. Unless there's been some discussion.
But it also depends how old that person is that asks that question. Because if you're young, I feel like it's
yeah.
too much shit.
Like, I'm trying to let go, but like it's like they can't let go. Even though they did something wrong.
When you're young and dumb. But that person asks that question like, like middle age. I would definitely say work it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like he's telling me like it's fucking no. I need to tell him no, right?
Yeah,
It
you
sounds
do
like
sound
you're
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
say a heart sometimes, and this was advice on a previous one.
Like,
Yeah.
I already felt bad how I felt.
So you only want him because you feel bad?
Yeah.
It's like actually, like I don't know.
That's all you know.
do
You love him.
I do, but like, I do love not sex. I don't know if sexually, but that's
Yeah.
I care about him, but like.
God, look, hey, I just turned 30. Give up on that part.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and buy the most expensive vibrator you can get your hands on.
30, yeah, but
Just buy
True.
something that hooks up to a gas generator. Find the nice guy with a good car.
That's your.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest, like, I never cheated before, and so this and that.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, but that's your body telling you that you want out a little bit.
I don't know if he's like.
It's just you want to get out there.
Love Dr. Mark.
Yeah. That's LUV right there.
Baby, that's just your body telling you need something different.
Girl, your
Your body's
body.
calling for somebody skinnier.
Your
with
mind is
veinier
telling you
legs.
no, but your body is telling you yes.
But like,
It seems like you don't see nothing wrong with both of you.
Yeah, you should. We're not looking
Yeah.
for. I don't feel like you should be.
not locally, but like,
If you're
we're
married,
married,
you know, anyone, any of those things party, guys.
Yeah.
I think if you're in a verbal contract with somebody.
No,
I just feel like.
you probably feel like 6 years. You feel like you own them.
Later, like, he likes to bring up shit, but like, it's like, I don't know. That's like he's
I think sometimes you just got to look at a situation and be like, it's like a car. You're like, it's totaled. There's not like the amount of work that it would take to fix this
Yeah,
is
would you wanna
worth
fix
more
it?
than the value of the thing.
It's crazy that you say that because my car, they always tell me like it's not worth it. It's old. So
Yes.
I still be fixing it because I love it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There you
true.
go.
Is it true love?
You
Yeah.
put
He's really in jail and he really cheated on me and everything, but I
Yikes.
Yeah. See, it might be time to start
I'm just dumb. Like,
going
that's
going
just-
for other
I
cars.
don't like change. I don't know.
I don't like change either.
That's the thing. I can't get comfortable.
You got a shit from someone else?
You're like, if you're getting that level of comfort.
Yeah, I hear you.
You're my the other person gonna understand you like that, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's something that just like,
know all your like right, like your flaws and everything.
Yeah. yeah, but that's, you know, it's a risk you got to take if you're over the relationship. Because the longer you are in it, the more you're going to be.
I've taken those risks and I don't like them.
No, I'm not
That's what makes me wanna come back. Like,
I'm not a guy who likes change, but also my girlfriend's not in prison, so I feel like I got a different bar. What's he in prison? Can I ask what he's? Well, yeah, you can love. I mean, like, I'm not saying that.
I love you so bad. Like,
First of all, he sounds tough, so I'm going to say stay with him. He sounds. I'm looking right in the camera right now. He sounds cool, and when he gets out of prison, he should not find me. Stay with him. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm kidding around.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It kind of sounds like you're in the stage where you sort of know it's over, but it's tough to rip the Band-Aid and feel like you're hurting a person. Like I was in a relationship with the person
How
for.
you put somebody you love through that?
That's
You
I
wanna
stayed
take
with the person
time.
for a year because of that. Because I didn't want to just say the words.
But
Yeah.
then again, they got their own life, and maybe they think the same thing the whole time.
But like
Yeah.
true for like why now? Like, you know?
Yeah, there hasn't been. That's definitely a feeling that I've had before. When you're in a relationship, you're like, well, there's no reason. I don't have an excuse
Like,
to bring
you
it
know,
up.
My mom always told me like, don't cry. Like they're gonna feel the same way after you. Like it's gonna be karma back to back. You know?
Yeah,
And she was fucking right. Like honestly, she was fucking right. But like why?
yeah.
Why did you change your mind?
But another thing is too, they're probably older than me, so like you guys probably would have stupid petty relationships.
Yeah, but some people find the one early. Some people,
That's true.
yeah.
It's
Like
always about like your mind.
now that I'm in
But
a
what
stable
if, like,
relationship, I'm
what
way
if,
more of
like,
a
they're
proponent.
changing Now and then like you don't want to like be with them for like what if like
What do you
it's
feel?
the right moment like it's gonna like if I do take them out like it's gonna be right for like what if I'm like if I don't want to like it's a mistake like you know
What's the prospect of being with that
like
person
what
for
if
the
it,
rest
like,
of your life?
it works
Feel
out
like
with somebody
Yeah.
else for it
You know what my advice to
that's
you is?
mine
Just wait till you find somebody else. Like because
That's some evil chick shit.
if you just bogus, it don't even matter because my ex, I was with him when I was like 13 to like 17, and he always be bogus, but I never felt like leaving. Like until I met, like it doesn't matter who it is, but it was his best friend. But I met him and he changed my life around. And I love him. Like you know.
You know what doing somebody bogus is at 13? That's changing the caps on all the magic markers.
so you don't know if that person's on the same page as you know
No, it don't matter when you find that person. You don't even care anymore. Like you kind of feel bad, but like.
I don't feel bad
Especially when
like,
they're dirty. Yeah, especially when
Yeah.
they're dirty.
It's
There's nothing to feel
wrong.
bad for. Like,
I would say as
just
soon
face
as you've had the thought.
I
Just
just need
face
to
it.
fucking
Face
face
it.
it
We're
and go
in.
raw.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
compatible. Like, no one loves each other for real. Like, people love each
I
other,
think
but
I
not
need a
just each
like
other.
he
Now
seems
we're
like when I tell him like
Yeah,
I want to be
no.
with you, he manipulates me. Like he tells me like, oh, you don't care about me and like this and that.
Yeah,
You
but
do
Yeah,
that.
that's-
This is what you got to do. He goes, you don't care about me. You go, that's exactly
not-
right,
that's
sir.
Not the thing. That's
Yeah.
not the thing, nigga. Like I'm
Not
done
believe
with
me
your
there.
shit. It's the
Yeah.
thing, you know?
Yeah, sometimes
But
you
they
got to.
don't get that. Like why don't you guys get that? Like what the fuck?
Are you guys living together?
Yes. it's
Yeah,
young.
that adds some
It's young,
complication.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Like I've been telling him like I don't want to be with you, but like he thinks like oh, okay, like what we gonna eat today, like nigga, like what the fuck? I'm not gonna.
I do the same. I'm as a guy. I will
What do
say
you guys do that? Like do our feelings not nice to go? Like
no, but guys I think are more problem focused than emotion focused. Like I will say, even though I'm in a good relationship, my girlfriend will sometimes come and be like, I'm feeling this way about this thing, and I'll just be like, I was thinking pizza for dinner. Are you sure you don't want pizza? I'd love to figure out where we're gonna go for dinner because I like a solvable problem. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Well, no, my girlfriend's like my girlfriend's your age about. She's 22, 23. Yeah. So she's like, I'm with her as she's going through some of those like I'm 30. Yeah. More so than I am. But I just have to remember.
I'm a tough ass bitch, but like I'm so fucking emotional.
It sounds like my girlfriend, except she's Jewish.
Yeah, he's kind of playing on those emotions by being like, you don't like me or whatever. He's trying to create a strain of guilt to keep you with him. Or it's just like, or you can now sit here and be like, you know what, fuck that guy. Like, you're hyping yourself up as like, I should leave. But when you get with him in that environment, it just, you kind of resort back to comfort. Which is like,
Probably. If the
If
History Channel specials are to be believed.
My daughter's father just went to jail for first-degree murder, and it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I was. When
That's
he told me that,
awful.
I was like, this is awful. Because I already got mine in jail, like thinking
And
I'm
he's
never
a
gonna see him
white guy,
again.
so,
like I'm not expecting
Goddamn.
to. Like,
Record scratch?
Yeah, what?
Like, he just went to jail, like, he didn't have the
Why am I
power that
banging a
he-
white
like,
guy if
like,
not to
basically,
have
you know,
him
like,
stay
that
out of
will
jail?
break you, that will break you, you know?
Like, that
Yeah.
was because I thought you were gonna get me out the hood. You're fucking.
That's a classic
That's hilarious. That's,
white.
It's like,
Shame.
you either learn the hard way or the easy way. So, like,
Everybody learns.
everybody learns either the easy way or the hard way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Cheers. So,
Guys,
cheers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cheers.
there you go.
Podcaster.
There you go.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
camera.
Thank you guys for.
Yeah.
Here, let me give you a.
Good luck.
What do you
Is it
call it?
hard?
Yeah.
Oh, we got cards.
Costa. Cheer me with the microphone.
There you go.
I'm not talking.
Oh, cheers. Wait.
Salud.
With the microphone.
Oh, the microphone. There we go. Cheers.
Yeah.
There it is. There you
Yeah,
go.
oh,
Hey,
that's-
we
good
wish
luck.
you luck. Thanks for being on the podcast. That's just my comedy code, but if you follow it, it's got the link to the
You better
podcast.
see this conversation because, like, I love this.
It's gonna be.
Yeah,
It'll be
post this shit.
online.
What you
It will be
And to
online.
that person who sent that message, work that shit out.
Work
man.
that shit
There
out.
we go.
Yeah.
They got some insight. Thank you for your
Yeah.
time,
Take
guys.
care, guys.
Have a good one. What were your
Thank you
names?
for, like, talking to us.
Sophia, Shirley,
Millie.
Millie. Nice to meet
Yeah.
you guys.
Bye, y'all. Thank you
Yeah.
for stopping. Y'all
Yeah.
made the cast.
And
That was
we're
great.
music. Do we mess up your thing with music?
No,
No,
that's
no,
why
it's
we
all
come
good.
out here. We like a little background.
Yeah.
Something going on. Yes. Yeah.
Period.
Just edit us out.
Hey, have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Good luck.
Bye.
You got this.
Hopefully.
Go get a mark.
I was gonna say, let's see where that one in the middle is going. No, that's well, that was an unfortunate drop to find out that one of them's in prison for first-degree murder.
Yeah.
Well, the
And
first
they're down in
question
the
was,
field.
what is the ocean? What was that?
Yeah, the first question was, what's in the ocean?
Or what-
that was a tough
what's
one.
up with
She
the
gestured
ocean?
towards the lake,
Yeah.
so we were already.
Well, they're drinking their way through some deep issues.
Yeah.
I wish they gave me a shot of whatever they were having. That looks like a good time.
Yeah, that looks
Ah.
like pure because they're having a lot of fun. God, to be young and having fun.
Yeah.
Now it's just business every time I come to the lake.
Well,
Oh, guys, thank you for doing another episode. Mark, thank you for doing another episode.
Oh,
of
thank
Turnip
you
and
for
Stone.
having me. This is always.
We got to
fun.
make sure Mark gets over there in time to take him to a Logan Square art festival. That's a good
No,
place
dude.
to find some art that'll help you cope with your baby's
the Hyde
husband.
Park Street Festival. Yeah, I don't know. It's like maybe prison does change a person, but do you want to wait and find out? We should walk and talk about this. I feel like I'm better when I
Do
walk
you
and talk.
think-
Mark, that's
prison.
23 years of art festivals till he's out of prison and beats the shit out of you.
You know, he's probably. In
my
prison,
question
they
is,
might be
do
doing,
you
like-
think prison has YouTube? Because we're kind of concerned about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A firewall.
Yeah, if they see this on YouTube, just know. Come fucking get me, dude.
You know what?
I'm kidding.
Maybe we should just real quick describe how to bake a knife into a cake, so they take it off of like the the Cook County jail
Yeah, we
firewall.
gotta make
doesn't
sure this
make
gets
through it.
Well, she dropped the N-word, so we're already flagged.
Yeah. I did a little squint to see. I was like, I think they can say it. I don't know.
That was like a Puerto Rican N-word.
That was
All right.
Name of the podcast is either going to be Lock Your Windows or Puerto Rican N-word. Really, the theme of this whole thing is Lock Your Windows. I'm glad that we ended up getting some jokes today, because the last time Steve and I did a lake podcast and a lady walked by, she was like a beautiful lady on a live, laugh, love journey, and Steve and I did, like, first of all, Steve went stone silent.
Yeah,
Dude, I
froze.
And I
could not
drooled
chime
through
in.
the conversation and gave the most, like, just straight pussyfooting advice of, like, yeah, you should totally do that. Yeah,
Yes.
no, I think you got to stick with it.
No, you
It's-
have to make goals so you can actually obtain them. Yes.
So that was good to squeeze some fun out of that. All
I mean,
right.
that's-
Oh, sorry, go
No,
ahead.
no. We can close the pod. This will be off-air logistical questions of how any of that picked up on a microphone. But
What I'll probably do is, because they were close to the camera,
camera.
is I'll cut the camera audio in and then spike their audio when they talk.
I don't know if you.
Which
can,
will be good, because we're going to really want to isolate our audio for parts of that.
Also, if you can find a way, I don't know if you can do it technically, to hide me. I'll do $10 for the editing software.
Oh, we'll probably cut this part out. The problem is, if we all bang, we'll probably die.
It'll be time to go back to old North Carolina.
And then we'd be in jail, and then we'd have a shot at 3 Latina mommies like that.
You think?
You think jail changes?
I don't know. It depends on the sentence. Probably 5 years or something.
You really don't consider how different cultures are till a 19-year-old is asking you live on podcast if their jail changes a person because they have a kid. And then you're like, wow,
Honestly-
they really did not spend
honestly-
any time at AV Bockham.
They kind of need the They need a caliber of advice podcast. We just can't get to them.
Well, this is why we got to stipulate it's a comedy advice podcast.
She's like, where we're from, you don't just stay with one person.
Yeah, we're also. I also should. This would have been funny, but we should have just clarified that this was white advice.
Yeah,
That might not serve you well in the environment.
Premium white.
This we should have charged them more
Premium
for
grade
white
A white.
advice. This is really a polar bear giving a bobcat lessons about.
Well, she said he was white, the guy that murdered
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
in the first degree.
Well, that's the problem.
So is that
you're-
premeditated?
Of course, it's premeditated.
Oh yeah, it's the most savage crime that can ever be done. A white that's going away for first-degree murder has done He probably fucked with the corpse. Oh my god.
If my white experience is anything to go off of, it certainly wasn't a crime of passion. It was a cold, calculated.
Absolutely meticulously planned. Bleach bought at different Ace Hardwares. The most savage crime.
my
It was
God.
me. It was me picking my nose, talking to a guy at Bass Pro Shop about which caliber is most efficient at bringing down medium-sized game.
My God, if that wasn't a cliffhanger. That was a cliffhanger there.
Yeah. I hope one of them follows us so we can get some.
Yeah, I would
First
love
of all,
some-
I'd love them to share this, dude. If we blew up in the Latina community,
Dude, if we could just come down here and just start doing, and I'm saying we're in Nosotros now.
Buenos noches, Chicago.
If we could hit in that community. The 6-year one needs to probably get out of that relationship. She should hitch her wagon up to an up-and-coming open mic comedian who lives in Lakeview.
Look at that. They're going out. The boys are going out fucking night riding.
Yeah. That's some first-degree murder shit right
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
that's exactly what that is.
Anybody leaving in that nice of a boat to go way down south has definitely got some evidence that there's a wrench covered in latex gloves that's about to sink down to the bottom of the lake.
In the
There's
middle
someone
of
that
the fucking night.
accidentally gave a girl at that festival Molly List with fentanyl, and it's time to flee to Michigan way.
Yeah, I have a bad feeling that the only one of the three that doesn't have a man in prison might not need to break up. You might just need to wait. It might be coming. Damn. That was a good. I'm glad that they stopped by.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were nice.
They seem like good folks.
Oh.
You want to see if they want to get a dog? All right, guys. This has been another episode of Turnip and Stone. Mark, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime, brother. Let's go grab a.